Palm Sunday, a day when we traditionally wave palm branches as we remember how Jesus finally made it to the big city, Jerusalem. He rode into the city on a donkey, and the crowds were waiting for him. They had heard about him. They were curious about him. They loved him. Out of respect for him, they threw their coats on the ground lest his feet touch the dirt. They took the branches of the most common tree around, the palm tree, and they spread them out on the road to make a path for him. Did I mention that there were people? Lots of people? Crowds everywhere? The very idea of such a parade is unimaginable right now. The idea that people would be gathered together, crammed in an unbroken line down a street, is outrageous in these days of social distancing, isolation, and self-quarantine. Yet in this time of anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, there is one part of this story that is timeless. The crowds on that day of the parade shouted out to Jesus a special cheer. We too can shout out this word, Hosanna. Hosanna has come to understand something like a cheerful joy, like something you'd hear at a sports event or concert, or even more fun, at a revival. A sort of hooray or yee-haw. But this word we shout, Hosanna, wasn't just one of celebration. Hosanna doesn't mean hooray or yee-haw. It literally means save us. Those people who lined their route to the big city and welcomed Jesus were literally shouting out to him, Jesus, save us. We need help. This is the part of the story that is timeless. Back in Jesus' day, there was plenty to need saving from for the people who lined the route. They lived under an oppressive Roman Empire, one in which their safety and rights were constantly under threat. For some who shouted Hosanna, they believed that Jesus had come to end all of that. It's one reason why the Roman officials were so afraid of Jesus. They thought he came to bring political upheaval. For others, Jesus represented another kind of hope. They had something going on in their own lives, and they thought Jesus could help them. Some were sick, or destitute, unemployed, or hungry, or maybe just hopeless. And so they too yelled out, Hosanna, save us. That's what happened in Jerusalem almost 2,000 years ago. But what would happen if Jesus came into Main Street in Riverton today? What would we be shouting if he rode up to the center of town on a donkey and stopped at the general store or the old Riverton Inn? Hosanna, save us, Jesus. Save us from this nasty virus that is so frightening, so isolating, so challenging to every single part of our lives. Hosanna, Jesus, save us from feeling so alone, so anxious, so exhausted, so hopeless. Our parade would look a lot different from Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. We would have to open our windows and shout out to Jesus. Or we might have to Zoom or do a conference call or tweet or send him a message on Facebook. But what wouldn't be different is this. We'd still have reason to shout to Jesus. Hosanna, save us. help us. The reality is, most of us have something from which we want saving. Maybe we are sick. Maybe we are feeling hopeless. Maybe we are feeling alone. Maybe we are uncertain. Maybe we are worried about our community, our country, our world. Whatever it is, we know that we cannot fix it alone. When Jesus came to Jerusalem, the people prepared the road for him. They were trying to prepare a procession for a conquering king who would save them from the hard lives they knew, the lives that they could not change by themselves. They were expecting a regal king riding in on a sturdy horse with his entourage. Instead, they got this guy on a donkey. Today it would be a little bit like waiting for a liberating army to arrive in a tank, and instead seeing one guy roll up the street in a Jeep. It wouldn't be exactly confidence-inspiring. And yet, Jesus did hear the calls of the crowd to save them, to help them, and he did. Today, on Palm Sunday, we are still shouting, Hosanna, God, save us. Save us from our fears and anxieties. Save us from our cabin fever. Save us from our consuming worry about ourselves, our friends, our families' well-being. Save us from our stress. Save us from our financial situations. Save us from fill in the blank. Save us so that we may bring hope to the hopeless. Save us so that we can bring compassion to the lonely. Save us so that we can bring light to those who are in darkness. Save us so that we can see into the future and know that this will end and all shall be well. Today is the beginning of Holy Week. We will go through much sadness as we recall Jesus' betrayal and crucifixion. Throughout this week, may we shout out, Hosanna, save us, Jesus. And may we know that Jesus will. How? Spoiler alert. We will virtually meet here again on Easter morning when we hear how Jesus saves us. In the meantime, I pray that we all keep our eyes on Easter, on Jesus' resurrection, on Jesus' victory, of Jesus' promise to us of a new life, an eternal life. I pray that we all shout out to Jesus, Hosanna, save us, help us.